Welcome to another edition of Business Bites. My name is David Tighe, the Managing Director of Bauer Media here in Northern Ireland. And each week we delve into the world of business and we tell a story from our part of the world. This week, I'm really pleased to welcome our guest. It's Maria Pick, and Maria is Director of IT Process and Change at Hughes Insurance. Maria, welcome to Business Bites.
Good morning, David. Lovely to meet you.
And it's lovely to meet you too. It's a very impressive title. We'll get to that in a second. It sounds very important. But before we do that, obviously, Hughes Insurance is an integral part of our world here. 1977, I think, Hughes came onto the scene. So just for those people who may not have heard about Hughes Insurance, what's Hughes Insurance all about?
Okay, so Hughes Insurance is one of Northern Ireland's top insurance brokers. We offer a range of insurance products, including home, car, commercial vehicle, travel and business. I'd like to think we're a household name in Northern Ireland and have been, as you say, for over 45 years. We've certainly had an impact on the landscape of Northern Ireland. We're an organisation that prioritises putting our people first, and that value also extends to our employees. And we've won numerous awards, including the Best Place to Work, Healthy Place to Work, Best Place for Work for Women in the UK all last year. I think we're in a very competitive marketplace, and making differentiating ourselves is very important within that marketplace. So a key focus for us is around our values, which are, being a responsible organisation, putting our people first and making things better, which is part of why I suppose I'm here to talk to you today, which will be about our environmental, social and corporate governance strategy and why that's important to us and a key priority to us as an organisation.
Okay, well, we will talk about that. Just wanted to go back to your role within the organisation. So, IT process change. We're in a world where a change that used to take a year is now taking a month or even a week in the world currently. So, how have you seen your role, the changing role of the insurance business, or indeed what you're doing behind the scenes? Has it really changed in the last few years?
It has indeed, and I think the pandemic has accelerated that further as well, because as a result of the pandemic, we had to, move our staff to working from home, so they needed to be much more digital in their focus, but also customers then expect to be able to interact with us online in a much more efficient way than they would have done previously. So my focus within the organisation is very much on making it as easy as possible for our staff to do their jobs from a digital point of view. I mean, like many organisations, we lifted and shifted people home and just expected everything to work. And we didn't look at actually when they are working in a remote way, how do we make it easier for staff? How do we make sure they stay connected, have access to all of the information that they need? So my role is about making sure that we do that in the best way possible, but also then from our customers, making it as easy for customers to interact with us online or over the phone should they wish to do so. So it's all about trying to make it as slick and as easy as possible for us to do business and to serve our customers' needs.
So you're working the magic very much there in the background, and that's really interesting to know. So obviously, a lot of businesses now, you touched on it earlier on, very, very responsible, and responsibility for the planet that we're living in is becoming an ever increasing focus for many people in business. Sometimes referred to as ESG, or environmental, social and governance issues. So tell me about your role there, and maybe what Hughes Insurance are up to in this space, because it's really kind of the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've made this a top priority for our board, to sort of strengthen our commitment to our staff, to our customers, but also the wider community. We absolutely recognise that it's the right thing to do. It's what our staff and our customers expect of us. So in order to do that, what we've done is we've put together an ESG strategy for the organisation, and with that we've created an ESG brand called Action for Impact. With that brand, we spent a lot of time doing research on the best partners that best organisations we could partner with, and we settled on the Ulster Wildlife and also the Conservation Volunteers. We've committed over £100,000 to both of those organisations, and I think it's around 3,500 volunteering hours for our staff to actually go out and volunteer with those organisations. So it's all very much rooted in supporting staff and creating a positive business legacy with a lasting impact. Other things we are doing is we've got an ongoing partnership with Mary Peters Trust. We're working with business in the community and with women in business, and that's all about working with other organisations within Northern Ireland to create positive social change. So if you want me to go on and talk a little bit about certainly the two environmental projects.
I think it'd be interesting, and also maybe apart from the obvious benefits to the environment, where do you see the benefits to sort of staff and the people that you employ? How does it benefit them?
So from the Ulster Wildlife point of view, we're supporting their Let Nature In campaign, and we provided funding to that organisation to target around 5,000 households to encourage them to make space for nature to come into their gardens and make a real difference to the environment. The Conservation Volunteers is about supporting a tree nursery that harvests over 250,000 native seeds that are going to be planted in many Northern Ireland's woodlands to help sort of protect and replenish biodiversity. And then later on this year, we're going to be working with them on a bogland restoration project. Now, yes, absolutely agree. These have positive impact on biodiversity within Northern Ireland and on the environment. But from our staff point of view, it creates opportunities for staff to go out and to volunteer with those organisations. And it also lets them know that we are a responsible employer, and that makes us an attractive employer to encourage new employees to come and work with us as well. I think that will become increasingly important as we're seeing some of the younger generation coming through. Those having a positive impact on the environment is very important to them whenever they're selecting an employer. So it helps us from that perspective as well.
Yeah, I mean the ESG strategies are obviously becoming more and more important. Obviously for the primary reason to help the planet survive, and obviously the secondary reasons around people wanting to work for responsible companies. What kind of feedback have you had with this initiative?
We've had really positive feedback from our staff, and they've actively engaged in volunteering and actually going out and seeing some of the sites, and they do see it as one of the, I suppose, contributing factors to why they want to work for Hughes.
Yeah, and I suppose what would your advice be to a company that maybe hasn't ventured into this space? Because I think it's, to some it seems quite a complicated area. To some they may be accused of greenwashing is a phrase that gets used quite a lot. Yeah. So what kind of responsible steps would you kind of pass on from your journey going into this the ESG journey?
Well, I think what has worked for us really well is speaking to the experts. We're experts in insurance, but other people are experts in the environment. So working with the likes of business in the community has helped us tremendously and has helped sort of steer us in the right direction. And working with organisations who understand the environment, such as Ulster Wildlife and the Conservation Volunteers. It's not the space that we've got expertise in. They do. So partnering with organisations helps us and keeps us almost on the straight and narrow in relation to all of that, so that we're always doing the right thing.
Yeah, many people as well, many employers may not be exposed to, I suppose, the younger end of the employee demographics. And you touched on it there a second ago, but I think from the research that I seem to read, this area is becoming more and more important. In fact, it's sometimes dictating where people actually choose to apply for a role when they do their research. Do you think that's true?
I do think it's true, and I think it will become even more true as we see some of the the younger people coming out of school, and because they are definitely much more environmentally aware than some of us sort of dinosaurs have been, that's for sure. But I would recognize it, even to be honest, in my own daughter. She's just finishing school and going to uni, but she is very, very conscious of organisations that are having a positive environmental impact, and wouldn't at all be interested in organisations that are adverse to that in any way.
Well, Maria, it's been fascinating to find out the story behind Hughes Insurance and obviously the journey on the ESG area for Hughes. Listen, thanks so much for being our guest this week on Business Bites.
Not at all. Thanks very much.